guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about a video that I did a while back on homeschooling just when all this COVID stuff was kicking off. I observed what was going on. I'm a chess player, okay? I grew up playing chess. I went to military academies growing up and military schools, and I'm teaching my children also to play chess. I think chess is important, be able to see things in life, understand what's coming, and be able to decipher how you're going to make your next move in life. And so, back when this thing whole kicked off, and I saw what was happening, all these parents being forced to come home and actually looking at their children's curriculum because the schools weren't open. They were sending all the kids home, and the parents were also being home, and they're looking for the first time in years and decades even what their children are being taught. And number one, the fact that this stuff is horrible curriculum. And number two, it's not very good curriculum. I mean, but understanding that some of the stuff isn't even concentrating on the things of math, science, and history. No. Or language arts. No, they're talking about social justice programs and all this other nonsense. So it's a bad curriculum quality-wise of a good curriculum, and it's just a bunch of fluff that shouldn't even be in a curriculum. Those two things made parents rethink how they're going to do their school for their kids because they want their kids to succeed. What parent doesn't want their kids to succeed? And so they began pulling their children out. And when things started letting up and opportunities started to happen to where people could go back to work, people say, you know what? Maybe we move some things around. Maybe we pinch some pennies. Maybe, crazy idea, one of us stays home and homeschools the kids because we want our children to get a good education instead of sending them back to this public school system that's not teaching them anything, that's not preparing them at all to get into college. That's what happened. They had wild numbers at the time I did that video. And they were talking about how a huge percentage of people were shocked at the curriculum. And I said, you know what? If just a small percentage of that larger number decides to stay home, it will completely change schooling in America. It will completely put homeschooling on the map. It'll make it a voting block at that point because politicians won't act against it because they know how many votes they'll be losing. And this is not limited to some political party or some sort of political ideology. No, this is left, right. People came home and they were like, this is what little Johnny's learning? My kid's never going to do well learning garbage like this. I was right. As often I am on this channel, I was right. It's not arrogance, it's confidence, it's passion, okay? Know the difference. Let's take a look at some headlines. Homeschooling reaches critical mass. This is the article from Axios. The number of U.S. kids who are homeschooled has nearly doubled during the pandemic. Why it matters. Some parents have lost faith in traditional schools. Others fear exposing their kids to the coronavirus as the broad exodus could further weaken America's struggling public education system. By the numbers, 2.6 million kids have switched from traditional school to homeschooling since the pandemic began. That is gigantic, folks. It says now the total number of homeschooled kids sits at about 5 million, according to census data. More than 11% of U.S. households are now homeschooling. And it's not just white families who are moving to homeschooling. No. 9.7% of white families with kids have pulled out of traditional education, as have 12.1% of Hispanic families, 8.8% of Asian families, and 16.1% of black families. Families' reasons for turning to homeschool are varied. For the first time in modern history, parents got a chance to observe their children's education up close at home. This is exactly the topic I made my video on. Did I not call it? Or no, I called it. I totally called it. For the first time, these parents have been shocked at what garbage their kids have been ingesting into their brains. Number two, it says many are deciding they want more individualized learning options for their kids, whether that's more attention from educators or more personalized lesson plans, says Alex Spurrier, a senior analyst at Bellwether, one of the authors of the report. Some families are fed up with virtual learning. No, people are fed up with public schools. They're fed up with all of the bureaucracy. It's government run. Everything the government touches turns into dust. It ruins everything the government touches. Government ruins everything it touches every time. Look at our airlines right now. Absolute disgrace. I may do another video on that. It's just crazy. I've been traveling lately, and I hate it. I hate it. just like the public school systems. It's run by the government now, and it's going to fall into catastrophe. And so no one's going to ever want to use it. Anyway, back to the article. So that's Axios, right? Okay, next article. This one here from The Federalist. Homeschooling is surging across America. Homeschoolers told us why. The last year and a half hasn't been easy on American school children because COVID restrictions and fierce battles over curriculum. Schools have become embroiled in political conflict as the future of an education has been thrust into uncertainty. It should come to it as no surprise that homeschooling has dramatically spiked since the onset of COVID-19 and the lockdowns that followed. Census data reveals that by the fall of the 2020-2021 school year, 11.1% of households with school-aged children reported homeschooling, double the amount of the previous year. Then by May 2021, the percentage was 19.5%. So again, surging across America. Over here at Yahoo News, public and private school teachers choose to homeschool their own children. So public and private school teachers, back when I was a kid, most of the public school teachers back when I was a kid took pride in the fact that they taught their own children or their own children were in the same school that they taught in. Not anymore. No. That's not the way it is done today. Because the public school teachers know and understand the garbage that's being taught there, and there's no way they want their kids being a product of these institutions because they're poor products. They're poor, bad products. As a fifth grade public school teacher in Texas and Georgia, she had a revolving door of 10 and 11-year-olds. She loved teaching and her students, but knew they weren't getting the one-on-one attention they needed. Still, when Horschelman had her eldest daughter, Ava, she didn't think twice about sending her to a brick and mortar. That all changed when the family moved to Makakita, Iowa with their 5-year-old daughter, Autumn, in tow. The plan was, whatever her name is, would go back to teaching, but the family ran into trouble finding daycare, so she decided to stay home and give her daughters the individualized instruction a traditional learning environment lacked. See, homeschool is always going to be better because you're going to get individualized instruction, and it's usually by a parent, someone who cares the most about a child. So it makes sense that people who private school teachers are not going to want to send their kids to public schools. They want to homeschool. Next article. Black families are finding empowerment in homeschooling, and it's not just amid the COVID-19. It's not just amid COVID-19. So they're finding that their children, because they want their children to succeed because they've been sold this bill of goods that you can't get ahead today because of a certain color you are, even though that's a bunch of nonsense. And so what they want to do is give them the best education possible. And these parents, just like all the other parents, are seeing the nonsense that's being taught to them in the public school systems. And they're like, no. We can't do this. We have to give our kids a better education than this. And so they're homeschooling. They're homeschooling. Because when you leave the government the responsibility of teaching your children, you're going to end up with a poor product every single time. So this article also, all these articles are very recent, like in the last month or week or so. Okay. This article also recent. This one here, this is from Teen Vogue. Teen Vogue. So you know that's left-leaning. Okay, homeschooling regulations must prioritize the needs of students. Yes, folks. Homeschooling is a system that can enable abuse and must be practiced in a way that centers the needs of students. Because yes, right, homeschooling, this is going crazy right now. And the thing we need is regulations. We need more regulations. Because homeschooling is just off the charts. Everyone's choosing to homeschool. Well, that means we need regulations because this can enable abuse. Because if you go outside the government system, the government doesn't like competition, and so they're going to automatically label whatever you're doing as bad because you're competing against them. You're saying that what you're doing is better than what they can do, and government is a god. Government can never do any wrong. And so you as a competitor are trying to set up a different god according to the government. The government sees this as a different god, a competing god, because our god can do no wrong, and you're saying you can do it better. Well, the way we squash that is bring about more regulation. That's what this entire article over at Teen Vogue is about. And guys, get ready for this because this is what they're going to do. They are going to regulate the tar out of homeschooling, or try to regulate the tar out of homeschooling because so many people are now doing it. Now, let's just address the 900-pound gorilla in the room. We all know that mandates are coming. I'm going to be careful with my words here. Certain mandates over a certain, the thing are coming. And when that happens, because they're coming, the people who have not pulled out of public school for whatever reason, you know what? We have our job. We have to have a job. We have to be able to maintain our current lifestyle. We have to be able to maintain our certain bills. And, I have a career and she has a career and we got to do all these things. And we got to maintain. So we'll send the kids back to public school, even though we don't want to. We know what they're learning. There's a bunch of garbage. We'll try our best to, give extra curriculum at home, and try to, sidestep some of those landmines. But we're going to go back to work and we'll send our kid back to public school. Those people who already know that it's bad to do what they're doing, who just didn't have the courage to pull their kids out from where the danger place that they are in, when these mandates come over a certain, the thing, that may be the straw that for these many parents will be like, no. And they'll be pulling their kids out of public school. They will do it. They will do it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Watch. And at that point, watch these public schools scream like a stuck pig. They will squeal because they don't like it. You take away that child, that takes away their money. And some of these schools, they love the money. They're addicted to the money, like anything. It's like heroin. You get addicted to it. You don't want to give it up. In fact, I did a separate video a few months back showing that public schools have been doctoring some of the student data to show that some of these homeschool kids are actually in their district and actually attending classes. And some of these homeschool people were getting notices in the mail that little Johnny had failed a test at school recently and wasn't showing up for classes. And like, wait a minute, little Johnny's never been to your school. Little Johnny's here at home. Or little Sally's here at home. And they're getting notices because these schools are doctoring these things and they're not doing it very well. And there's things slipping. There's evidence of the fraud slipping through the cracks because the schools are addicted to the money. Now, what happens when all these people pull all these kids out of schools? Oh, the demand for regulation will be loud. They'll be loud because, see, these schools don't have the ability. I mean, because you mess with people's children. I mean, let's be honest. These mandates of, the thing. I mean, the thing is harming lots of people. It's hurting. It's even killing people. There's no doubt about this anymore. And when you start doing that to people's kids, who up to this point had whatever, to prevent the thing, and they start mandating it, they'll be like, little Johnny, little Sally, you're coming home. And at that point, watch out. I mean, it's going to get loud, right? I mean, they don't have the enforcement mechanisms to keep these kids. What are they going to do? Send out 1 million truancy officers? They don't have 1 million truancy officers. The truancy officers are not going to want to knock on those doors. No, they won't want to do it. I mean, every time I think about this, I think about that scene from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Arm and a forge and some shoeing impediment to restore our liberty of movement.
Hold it right here. You men from the bank?
You Wash's boy?
Yes, sir. Daddy told me I'm to shoot who's ever from the bank.
Well, we ain't from the bank, young feller.
Yes, sir. I'm also supposed to shoot folks serving papers.
We ain't got no papers, neither.
I nicked the census, man.
Now, there's a good boy. Is your daddy about?
That's going to be how it's like for truancy officers. See, those truancy officers aren't going to want to do their job because they're not paid enough to do that. No. But that's what it'll be like. You watch, wait, and see. That's what it'll be like. Guys, only tyrants at this point love the public school system. And more people are like, you know what? This isn't what it used to be when I was a kid. The public schools are not what it used to be when I was a kid. There were still some good public schools out there. There were still some well-funded, well-made, had good curriculum who tried to concentrate. Even after Madeline Murray O'Hara in 1960, you had to pull the Bible curriculum out. They still concentrated heavy on math, science, history, language arts, English, lit, all the things that really make a good student. If you can complete these courses, you can produce a good product. Those are gone. In fact, I have to question. If you're still sending your kid to public school, I really have to question your parenting. Do you really care for the well-being of your child? Because I would submit to you that you're abusing your child by sending him to the public school system every day? Tell me why I'm wrong in the comments below. I don't think I'm wrong. It's going to get loud. Because if these mandates for, the thing come on down the pike, I hate to be a truancy officer. That's all I'm going to say. All right, we'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Hey, check out our merchandise over at teespring.com, because if you like freedom like I like freedom, we have these freedom shirts for sale. Links below, teespring.com. Also, our Stupid shirt, our best-selling shirt we have by far in the Teespring store. And also, we're going to be doing some more. People are asking a lot about my OMAD and Zeal stuff, and we're going to be doing some more. I'm going to do a video, I think, on OMAD. I've been doing OMAD now for almost over 2 years. I have to go back and look, but it's been close to 2 years. And I've maintained my weight within a very exact parameter by doing OMAD. I love it. I lost 50 pounds, and we're going to do a video on why Zeal helped me get to that point. And now I've been maintaining now for the last year or so, over a year. And I love it. I'll do OMAD the rest of my life. OMAD stands for 1 meal a day. I'm going to do a video on that because a lot of people are asking about it. And so we're going to do that. So check out our Zeal products down below. The Zeal product that we use as a commercial at the end. You can try it out. Sign up for the Smart Subscribe if you do, because if you sign up for the Smart Subscribe, you're going to save money signing up for that way. And you don't have to, it's only, you can cancel it anytime if you want to, but give it a try. We're going to do our OMAD video coming up soon. All right, guys. See you next time on the Homestead. Bye. Hey guys, I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.